Hello, welcome to chapter 15. The ancient Tao cultivators were subtle and mysterious. Alright, so we are getting some information about the cultivators of the Tao, the people that created it and developed it, etc. And obviously, these sort of people should be a model to all of us. That's why they talk about them because we should use them as a model to how we should behave and act. So they were subtle and mysterious. They were of immeasurable profundity. Profundity means depth of knowledge, depth of thought. So they were very deep. Because they were too subtle to be known, so reluctantly they were being described as follows. So they were being described. It's funny to think about it because who is the person that's writing this text right now? The person, the actual author of this text, obviously is one of the people that is describing. Obviously we are talking about the people who studied the Tao, who cultivated it, and he's basically talking about himself and other and other his peers, the people that created the Tao, and he reluctantly talks about himself, and he does so in a third person way in order to not talk about himself. So he's talking about the them, the people that cultivated the Tao, and they were too subtle to be known. They didn't want to publish themselves. They didn't want fame, and all these earthly desires were of no interest to them. So because of they wouldn't enjoy this description of them as follows. They were cautious, as if crossing an icy river, always cautious. Hesitant, as if fearful of the surroundings. Always hesitant, always as if the surroundings need to be examined and observed all the time. Reverent, like an honorable guest. Dispersed, like winter ice began to melt in spring, always dispersed, always around, scattered around. Simple and sincere, like a genuine virgin, right? Open minded, like an empty valley. Beautiful, right? It's poetry. Harmonized, like the turbid water. Harmonized, again with water. How can one turn the turbid water into clarity? All right, so how can you turn turbid water into clarity? A person of Tao would maintain peace in order to achieve pureness of the mind. They are basically giving us a very straightforward way to become to become clear-minded, to achieve this pureness of the mind, and to maintain this peace, and therefore shall not be disturbed by the worldly desires. Once you reach this level of peace of mind, of tranquility, you won't be disturbed by the earthly desires like most of us do. After achieving pureness of the mind, how can one let it be everlasting? All right, so that's the second challenge. I think that some of us, maybe even you or some of the viewers, have reached this point of fifth dimension existence, from time to time. For example, during a situation in which they laid in nature and all kinds of things. I don't know exactly, each person with his own history, but in the end of the day, some of us have reached this level for a brief moment or for several brief occasions. They actually reach this high level of masterhood, but it's never everlasting, and you always return to the 3D existence. So the question here is, how can this situation, this pureness of mind, can be everlasting? And obviously, is going to answer now. A person of Tao would unify and harmonize himself with all beings, which shall lead to eternity. All right, so here is one secret: unify and harmonize yourself with all beings. All beings, not only all humans, but all beings in general. We are talking about animals, we are talking about the trees, we are talking about birds and the sky and the earth itself. All beings should be harmonized with the master of Tao. And that's the way to reach eternity. Those who abide by this Tao will not indulge themselves in the desire of greed. So now they give an example of the desire of greed. We already talked about other desires as well. We talked about wealth and etc. And this desire of wealth, this greed, is not likely to be indulged by a Tao master. Alright, they are hinting us that, listen, if you enjoy money too much, take a step away from it, because that's not the way to becoming a Tao master. It is because of this humbleness that enables one to embrace the origin oneness, the great Tao. Alright, so this oneness, this great Tao, the thing that they keep talking about, if you wish to reach this level, then you need to embrace the oneness, which means that you need to believe that we are all one, that whatever you do to others is actually you are doing to yourself, and walk the path of humbleness. Don't be an arrogant person, because that's again not the path. And don't desire money too much. Don't be a person of greed, because that's again not the way, that's not the path, that's not the Tao.